If a man can control his mind, he can find the way to enlightenment, and all wisdom and virtue will naturally come to him, said the Buddha. Hello, hi, and welcome to Meaningful Mondays with me, Rashmi Shetty, a space where I share my life lessons. And today's is a favorite story of mine on the occasion of Buddha Purnima, a story that I heard as a little girl but hold very close to my heart because it still makes sense to me. When Buddha and his disciples were traveling to different cities and villages, they used to pass a lot of forests. Since they all were walking, there used to come times when they would sit down for rest or sleep somewhere for rest. In one such journey, they were passing by a forest, and as they were seated, the Buddha was feeling really, really thirsty. So he told one of his disciples to go ahead and find water for him. The disciple picked a coconut shell and went ahead and started looking for water. From a distance, he saw a pond and he was super thrilled. So he took his coconut shell, started walking in the direction way faster because now he was happy he's going to accomplish what he set out for. But to his surprise, just before he reached, a bullock cart which was passing that way went on the pond. And by the time he reached there, the water was all muddled, muddy, and not worthy of drinking. He came back disappointed, sat down next to the Buddha, and said, I'm so sorry, this is what happened, and the water is really muddy. Buddha smiled and said, that's okay, you can go after a while. So he sat down disappointed, irritated, and after a while, looking at him and smiling, Buddha said, now go collect water, my son. So he went ahead to collect the water and he noticed it was pristine, clear, lovely tasting water. He drank a little himself and carried some water in the coconut shell for Buddha. He seemed to be smiling now, and the Buddha took the shell from him, drank the water, and said, really nice, I feel good. So the disciple was smiling ear to ear. The Buddha said, okay, what did you do to get this water? He said, I walked up to the pond. He said, fine. But you came back sometime saying the water is muddy. To get it absolutely crystal clear, what did you do? So he said, nothing. I just waited. So Buddha said, that's exactly what you should do when you're irritated. The fact that the water became muddy was not your fault, but it irritated you so much. And when you stayed here, sat down, calmed down, and went back, you were in a better state of mind to accept whatever is the water that is there. And this, I realize, is very relevant even today when we are talking mental health. We have so many distractions, brain fogs happening, and people don't know what to focus on. That many of them have lost focus itself, be it little kids or adults, because they say adult ADHD is real. And therefore, in order to make sure that our cluttered mind doesn't take over or our muddled mind doesn't help us in our decisions, we need to physically walk away from them. In many of the team programs with companies, this is something that I always tell them, and many of them revert after the program to say how well it worked. I remember in one company, which was, I think, on the 11th or 12th floor, I told them when you are having a heated discussion and it moves to a debate during a team meeting, physically walk away from there. Maybe climb downstairs and climb up. Just the fact that you're doing something physical can just distract your mind away from this emotional state. And when you reassemble, it's in a far better space of mind that all of you will be speaking. And they did revert saying that it was a beautiful exercise for most of them, and it helps them a lot even now. So the next time you are irritated, don't give any kind of reaction in that state. Silence is what is recommended, and walking away physically from that space will really help. So, this story continues to remain my favorite and relevant only because of the life lessons I got from it. One, many a time, you're not responsible for the muddle or the confusion. The mind is playing the game. Be aware of the mind games that's happening up here. Secondly, allow things to settle down because many a time emotions only bring out reactions. Try to give more responses that'll give you more time to cool down. And third, most importantly, many of what we think we have no control over, it's best to let go. Because the moment we want to control something and it is not in our control, we get frustrated. So if you can control the biggest player that's up here, your mind, you will start realizing that there are a lot of things that are possible. It is true that in many a case that the mind does more games than we can even imagine. Acknowledge the mind, allow it to play the games, but don't allow it to control your thoughts. Filter, relax, move away physically if required, but then take a decision when you are in a calmer state. Have a beautiful week ahead. Stay safe, stay blessed.